Welcome back. I have a surprise. It's finally in. The Prusa Core 1 Plus. Can't wait to get started. It weighs 70 pounds, and that's a lot. And it is big. And my work center is not that big, as you can see. But we will get it done nonetheless. Alright, so definitely not the best setup, but I got the Prusa tools, my laptop, the gummy bears, and I believe we're ready to go. Let's do it. Alrighty, so let's open this up. Alright. Let's delicately open this. And of course, this is what I was most excited for. So let me get this all unpacked for you and kind of set out, and we will go from there. As you can see, I have everything kind of sorted out here on my bed. I don't have a main office, so this will have to do. But oddly enough, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then the extra stuff and the motor kits. Where's 6? Alright, so I think I finished like stage 1, which is like the base layer. So I got all the motors in there and got all the screws in place, so looking pretty good. But with that, it's habanero retreat time. Because after every section you do, you get rewarded by habaneros. So that's cool. During the electronics sections, I was wearing shoes and I tried to make sure I touched metal the whole time that I was doing it, because I was a little bit scared because, as you can see, I have a lot of carpet and my bed sheets are also very soft, so I was trying to keep the static down. I was very cautious about that despite the looking environment. So it's really late. It's 3 a.m. in the morning, but I do have most of the back panel put together, but I am still not through step 3 or section 3. So I haven't earned my gummy bears yet, but we've made some decent progress. These first couple sections of the build were really easy in regards to the instructions were clear and they weren't super complicated. And I think that kind of eased you into the start of the build before you get to the, obviously you have to build from the ground up, so the complicated stuff is at the top. But I think that it was really nice to ease into that of just how they constructed this. And I was flying through these first couple sections and they really got me excited for the rest of the build. And I just think that is awesome, especially, of course, with the gummy bears at the end. Alrighty, we finished section 4. We got the heat bed installed and all of the cables running to the back. It's starting to look like a 3D printer. Also, gummy bear time. These next couple sections with the installing the heat bed and the top parts and aligning the rods and everything wasn't too bad either. I do remember this part being a little bit frustrating, just for the fact that it was made me concerned because it was teetering a little bit, and I probably should have done more to support instead of it teetering on the middle on that railing. But everything turned out pretty well, but I wish I had a softer surface just for this section alone. And you see at the end there I did prop it up, but that was suggested in the instructions. It's starting to look like a 3D printer. Look at that. So it's the next day. Just finished the core XY assembly. And as you can see, we've got all the belts and motors installed, and it's really starting to look good. I'm gonna eat my gummy bears and I will come back with the next step. I was expecting the extruder section to be a lot more difficult than it actually was, but this was one of the easiest parts of the whole build, was building this extruder. I don't know why I was expecting it to be so complicated, just because that's the core of the printer, but it was super easy and the instructions were super helpful, and the comments too. Alright, so we hit a major milestone. We got the extruder assembly put together here, and that just looks pretty cool. Not too difficult, but that's some pretty good progress. So this section I had a little bit of trouble, not for its complexity, but just because of alignment issues, and I'll explain that a little bit more in a second, but this was the start of when it wasn't fun. Well, folks, I had my first problem of this whole kit. Done all the complicated stuff, and I sheared a bolt because I was getting tired. This is when it started to really get exciting, because the extruder was in, all the moving parts were in, and it was just building the top of the frame, and it was really starting to get exciting. Like, everything was finished, I had my alignment issues, I fixed them, and it was just fun. And you can see here that I'm putting in the filament sensor, which for some reason was a little bit more difficult than it should have been, but I think one of the pieces didn't print the best, so I had to do a little bit of shaving off off camera, but that was the only real tough part. But as you can see, it's looking pretty fantastic. We're finally starting to button things up, and I just opened the last box. So this is getting pretty exciting. We're getting close. During this section, a lot of people on the instructions and online said that they had difficult putting in these side panels, but I didn't have any issues at all. I struggled for like 2 seconds, but I didn't have an issue. But I understand people had some alignment issues. Maybe that's what I fixed earlier to have room to put that in, but I had no issues, and the plexiglass was easy, except for when I dropped a screw, but I don't think I captured that, and everything just went smoothly. After hours of toiling, I have finally finished. Look at how nice it is in there. Let the camera adjust. I got the spool on this side currently. I am about to update the firmware and start calibrating, so hopefully all that goes smoothly and I don't have to do much else. I also have to install the buddy camera, which I already have the wire for. I just got to put it in there. But yeah, all is going well, and we are nearing our first print. As my printer is still calibrating, I just want to shout out this little thing right here. This is a little belt tensioner that I found online off of Reddit. I will link that in the description, but this helped out greatly with tensioning these belts. It was really useful to get into the right range. And there's the Z-axis going. Nice. All right, so I know the lighting is not the best, but we have finished the calibrations on the printers, the printer, and it is looking pretty good. I got some red PLA hooked up right now, and I get to eat my last 5 gummy bears. This thing is so fast. Here you can see a side-by-side comparison of my old Mark III printer and my new Core 1 Plus, and it's just looks so much more amazing. And you can see a couple of the things that I printed, a little benchy and a scraper and a book stand, all really high quality prints out of the box. I had no issues assembling this. The alignment, the belt tensioning was the only frustration I had, but other than that, I had no issues. Everything went perfectly, and I started printing almost as soon as I finished the calibrations. It was perfect. So that concludes the portion of building the Core 1 Plus. As you can see in the background, I have a print going. I'm printing out a little bit of a Christmas tree ornament, so hopefully that finishes out and turns out amazing. You can see my cat in the background, but that is all I have for this video. I will be back hopefully next week with another video on the update on the business side, especially now that I have this new 3D printer, and we will go from there. But thank you for watching, as always.